and I'm happy I found her. She's doing a tremendous job.
What?
What kind of advice would you give amateurs stepping up in the amateur game?
You hear people say stay focused, so stay focused. My hands ready, man. I'm I'm ready, man. Yeah, stay focused. And what I mean by that is I sound like an old timer right now, but in my day, we didn't have Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I think maybe Facebook was popping. MySpace.
Yeah.
Facebook wasn't even popping yet. It was MySpace. And like when I went to the Olympics, we had a room that we went to, and we all crowded around like a desktop.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's my turn. Let me get on there. Now these kids are in their room, just it's a lot of distractions. It's a lot. I was talking to my publicist about this the other night. It's a lot of young guys on there. Man, I'm getting ready for this tournament. I'm getting ready. Watch out, I'm coming. And that's cool. You should be confident, believe in yourself. Man, put your head down and just work. Because if you are who you say you are, and if you have the goods, they're gonna know about you soon enough. But this generation likes to announce it first. And a lot of times they don't come through, sometimes they do. Keep it simple, man. Work hard, stay out of trouble, and just let the process take place. Be patient enough to let the process take place. I walked in this gym as a kid, as a baby, and all I had was a dream and a work ethic. And now here I am today. And that's just from a lot of hard work.
Thank you so much for that.
I watched Creed again the other day. How was that experience? Did you get a little acting bug after boxing?
I did, man. I got bit by the bug. I told my team, I said, man, I want to do more. Not to mention that
you got the new taper.
Those residuals ain't bad either. Those residuals ain't bad at all. But no, the process was amazing. Like, I was there 3 or 4 days in Philly, 12-hour days. I'm going back to my room, icing my shoulder, taking Epsom salt baths. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is a movie. But it's repetition. Like, you're working for 12 hours. You may get a 30-minute lunch break. And that's it. And I just enjoyed it, man. I just enjoyed it. I'm thankful for the opportunity to do it, and would love to do it.
And working with the hometown director?
Of course. Yeah, he's amazing. Ryan Coogler's amazing.
He'll be at the fight.
How does your faith play a role when you're inactive like that for a long period of time? A long period of time.
Yeah, it makes you really really go back to the basics. In your faith. You can talk God, and you can quote scriptures, and you can go to church and do all the things that I try to do consistently. But in those moments when you can't see what's up ahead, that's the only thing that is going to sustain you is faith. And faith is like seeing without seeing.
Okay.
And I'm just thankful, man. I got a great pastor, Napoleon Kaufman. I got a tremendous wife, and just a core group of people around me that when I couldn't, stand up on my own and believe for myself, I would call somebody and say, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this, when this is going to end. And they would encourage me. And God showed up in a major way, man. And it's funny because when people talk about that period, it's like a horror story to them. Oh my God, this last 2 years, what happened? It's like, that's the story of my life. That is a chapter.
Yeah.
And to other people, it may define me or define my career, but it's really not a bad thing. Like, without getting into it, like, I felt like, man, I did what I had to do. Was it rough? Absolutely. Did I learn a lot? Did I grow? Was I stretched? Absolutely. But getting on the other side, man, it forged me. I got to see a lot of movement too. A lot of people you thought was with you, not with you. A lot of people writing a lot of stuff. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And sometimes you got to go through certain situations like that for people to show who they really are. And that's okay. I don't hold nothing against them because I understand how human nature is. But it's just interesting. It showed me like who was down and who reserved their opinion until it worked out, and who jumped the gun and had a lot to say without the situation being resolved. So just learned a lot, man. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing at all, man. It's part of my story. And believe it or not, my phone rings a lot from individuals who are going through similar situations. And who better to talk about it than somebody who went through it?
Okay.
So I'm not complaining at all. At all.
Cody Vaughn said he's going to knock you out the 8th or 9th round. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
Now, you mentioned Floyd Mayweather, one of your favorite fighters. And from the mind of a fighter, do you think Floyd will return for a 50th bout?
I can't, man. I'd probably be a rich man if I could predict what Floyd Mayweather was going to do next. I have no idea. He's earned the right to do whatever he wants to do. Personally, I would like to see the competitive side wants to see him break the record, but being a lifelong fan of the sport, not lifelong, being a fan since I've been about 10 years old, you know, I would like to see him go out like this because we don't get to see this. We typically see the sport retire fighters, not the other way around. So I would love to see him go off like this, and people never get to see him in a situation that a lot of haters want to see him in, bleeding on the canvas, hurt, too old, some young guy having to show him that he doesn't have. If he could avoid that situation, and not to say that it would be that if he came back, but you know how we all get old, man, and it's, you know, Father Time is undefeated. So I would love to see him go away like this, but he's reserved the right to do whatever he wants to do. He's smart. You know, he knows how much he has left in the tank.
What about you, Andre? You're in the middle of it right now, but do you ever step back and say, okay, here's my master plan, here's when I want to step away, and I do that same thing, retire undefeated?
I think that's every fighter's dream is to walk away on their own terms. I think that's every athlete's dream is to walk away on their own terms. And I think it's a situation where you just know. That's what I hear from athletes who have done it, not just in boxing. They say, you know. And I think the key is just listening to that voice. When that moment comes, now you got a decision to make. So
you're not at that moment.
Nah, not yet. I got a little bit more work to do. I got a couple years to make it.
The Super 6 and 168, look at that like it's the first phase of your career, and now this fight, the second one with Rock Nation, first at 175, like against is the next chapter kind of thing.
I would say the Super 6 is probably the middle phase.
The middle phase.
Yeah. It's a lot to get to that point. So I had to work my way up through the ranks like everybody else. You know, one slip up, there would be no Super 6. You know, there'd been no title shot. If I'd have slipped up in the Edison Miranda fight, would have been no Kessler, would have been no Super 6. So that was the middle part, and this is the back stretch.
Last couple questions.
How does it feel to be the last one standing, or just still predominantly on top after the Super 6? And you can see some of your other buddies, you know, that was in the Super 6 with you, how they're doing.
Man, it's a good thing, but you know, I try not to put too much stock in that because I know how hard the sport is on every kind of level. You know, whether you're a top guy, or whether you're a contender, or just an opponent. So, you know, I try not to put too much stock in that in terms of, you know, taking pride in that. I'm just thankful, man, for the longevity. I'm just thankful to still be around and still be, you know, at the top of my game. It's a blessing. You know?
All right, guys, let's get you in the ring.
I'm gonna just do maybe a couple minutes or so.
Hella calm. That's ridiculous to be there.
No, he's been fighting since he was 3.